It's also effective because it's suitable for visual learners, so for more people that learn better by seeing the action instead of being told what the action is. It's effective when it conveys more than words, so an action conveys more than telling them you have to hit the tennis ball. You show them how, it shows them how to hit the tennis ball, it shows which part to aim for, that kind of thing. It's easy to convey complex parts. It's quite hard to describe how to do something when it's really, really hard. So, such as like Prokpyataka is quite complex. It's lots of different parts. It's easy just to show and then pinpoint the main parts of what you've done in that action. It's effective because it can be repeated. You don't just have to say it. It's not just saying it and then it can be quite easily repeated time after time until people get it. It also overcomes language barriers, so if someone's particularly not very good on their English or French or whatever language you guys are speaking as a coach, then actions speak louder than words. They say like actions will overcome this, convey what you have to do without having to actually know the language it's being told in. It's ineffective if it's poor quality of what's shown, so bad habits can be shown and they can be picked up, so you have to be really clued up on what you're demonstrating, know the good points, know how to show it properly. If the performers can't see, they won't understand, so they have to make sure they've got good visibility, otherwise they're just not going to see what you're doing. If it's not repeated, they still won't understand. You can't just show them once, you have to show them multiple times for it to stick in their head and be like, click in their head, so when they see it in a game, they'll be like, oh, that's what I've got to do in this situation, etc. It can't just be all actions, obviously you have to use verbal cues as well. So you say, this is the action, I did this because, then pinpoint it, keep it simple, keep it short, 2 to 3 points, like done. Adapting to individual needs. This is the variation of the drills being done in order to adapt to the other people's ability. It's the variation of people's needs and aspirations of all to suit ability and learning methods. For example, if a performer finds a drill easy, change it to make it more challenging. Therefore, it won't be boring and tedious for them, and therefore they'll be learning a lot more. For this, you would need to know the performers well and be tactful on how you change the drills. It also gives the players a choice of what level they work at. It's called autonomy. This allows them to adapt to skills, hard or easier. So if they adapt to a skill, how do they do it? How do they improve this, making the drill harder? It allows safety to be put in place. So little kids versus big kids. Big kids will use a hard volleyball instead, and then the little kids will use a little air blown up pumpy like softballs. A disability, if for example someone has a problem like running or something like that, then they can change them into like running football into walking football. If they're blind football. The environment, so if it's kind of an outside game but it's raining and the ground's too slippy, then bring it inside, use softer balls, use different balls, change the drill a little bit. If there are injuries, so if there's an injury in the group, don't just let them stand there by the side, let them throw the tennis ball to create a serve or to help people be in the right position, identifying what they need to do better. And it also allows you to adapt to how many you have in a group. So if you have a large amount of groups, how are you going to do, what groups you're going to split them into, how you're going to change the drill to suit the number and the equipment you have available. A comparison for this would be, so it's effective when in smaller groups. So the smaller groups, it's easier to change the drills, make it easier for them to understand. When you know the performers well, if you know the performers well, you know how they learn, you know how well they're doing, what they need to improve. So you then know who's finding it easy, who's finding it harder. Is it effective if you're teach them simple skills. It's effective when you have adapted equipment for like different changes you're going to make. It's effective because it allows learners to become autonomous, so that's allowing them to choose what level they're going to work at. Are they going to work at the easy level, or are they going to challenge themselves? It's ineffective when you're trying to teach complex skills. So if they're hard skills, then it's harder to change. Like, you have to do it step by step. You have to do it all together. You can't change one for another. It's harder in larger groups. It's harder to control, harder to adapt to each individual different need. It's hard when you have time constraints. So if you have a lot of time to do this, this can affect it. It's also ineffective when you have defensive learners, when learners don't want to challenge themselves, or they don't think they need to be taught this, or they don't think they need to take the easy option. They want to try the hard one and they fail, because that only picks up bad habits, and they don't really do the skill as well as they think they are doing. That's it.